Okay, so this question, how do I know I have a drinking problem? Well, it's a question that a lot of people think about and they agonize over internally, but very few people express out loud to others, do you think I have a drinking problem? And if you're asking it over and over again, that already tells you something. But let me ask you, what brought this to your attention? What's going on in your life that makes you question your drinking? Is your drinking having consequences? Are those consequences the things that you are beginning to question why you're doing what you're doing? Now, considering that there are consequences and maybe you do have a problem, brings up a lot of fear. So, fear that your alcohol is going to be taken away, that you're going to miss out from here on in, that your life is going to be over, that you'll never have fun again, that your social life's going to evaporate, that you'll be judged, shamed, and heaven forbid, labeled an alcoholic because only problem drinkers are alcoholics and everybody else is a normal drinker. Now, that's a fallacy, to be honest. Fear that you're broken, condemned, or you're going to end up in weekly meetings forever. And here's the thing, those fears alone can keep you drinking and keep you stuck. So, what does a drinking problem look like? Well, it could be a range of behaviors, some of them in your face, some of them subtle. It could be multiple things, it could be one or two things. Sometimes it's obvious, getting drunk at the wrong times, like at family dues, Christmas, New Year's, regularly going overboard, barbecues, work dues, memory blackouts. After 10 o'clock, you can't remember what happened. Passing out on the bed fully clothed instead of when you go to sleep, causing arguments, hiding your drinks, getting defensive if someone questions you about your drinking, lying about the amounts that you drink. Oh no, I only had a six pack when you've put away two. Other times it's subtle, like no joy in the things that you used to love, spending more time drinking than actually living, money slipping away through your fingers. You're spending on alcohol, but you're also spending on other things like junk food and gambling, perhaps, constant tiredness, foggy thinking, missed work functions or appointments, and creeping health problems like weight gain or high blood pressure. I probably had, out of all of those things, probably about 80% of them at one time or another over my drinking life. But look, the real question isn't about how much you drink and what the results are. It's why you drink. Why are you drinking? Is it for pleasure, to have fun, relax? Or are you drinking for relief? Has alcohol become a go-to tool to make you feel better because something's happening internally? Most people who hear a small, quiet voice at some point saying, this can't be good for me. I should cut back. Is this what I really want in my life? But then we get confused. We go off and we look at the safe drinking guidelines. One group like the World Health Organization says no alcohol at all is best. Another group says 4 drinks a day, 10 a week for men. Someone else says 2 a day, 14 a week for men. And then we hear that red wine is healthy. So we figure, well, more must be better, right? And of course, we compare ourselves to other people, like Fred next door. Fred seems to knock back beers every single day without a problem. He seems happy and okay, but we don't know what's happening with Fred internally. We see people out at restaurants having a great time with no issues. Meanwhile, the media and the alcohol industry are bombarding us with messages that drink is fun, glamorous, and has health benefits. And it's all wrapped up at the end with a neat little line that says, drink responsibly. To me, that's like a drug cartel telling their customers, snort responsibly, right? Once you've got that addictive cocaine in your system, do it responsibly because, you might get into trouble or problems. Hmm. So what happens? Well, we justify, we ruminate, and we tell ourselves, no, we're fine. We don't have a problem. I've compared myself to the guidelines, to Fred, to all the people on TV, etc. No, I'm fine. But here's a better question to ask yourself. Instead of asking, do I have a problem? Ask yourself, would I feel better if I drank less or not at all? And this is where things will start to change, right? And if the answer is maybe, don't know, or even a yes, the next step is quite simple. Get curious, educate yourself, learn from others that have walked the same path. There are lots of people on podcasts telling their stories, how they got around their drinking issues. There's lots of books or quit literature, as it's called, that you can read. Try an online course like my Aussie Bloke's Guide to Drinking Less. Experiment. Treat everything as an experiment. One time you go out drinking, um, if you're going to drink, maybe have one or two alcoholic drinks, but intersperse them with non-alcoholic drinks. Slow down and check in with yourself. I used to go happily throw beers down my throat and not think about what I was doing. I was drinking for the taste, or was I? Was I drinking for the buzz? It was the latter. It was the buzz. But I never stopped to think, like, what is this doing for me really? And why do I need to do this? Try a weekend or a night without alcohol. See how you feel. Truth is, you don't have to keep doing the same things over and over, get into trouble, and then start asking the questions. You can actually do things. If you're questioning your drinking, you already have the power to change it. And don't let anyone tell you that you don't, because you do.